Check, check, check. There we go. We're under 1 minute, guys. Actually coming up much faster than that. 12 seconds, 10 seconds. All right, brace yourself. Oh, it froze for a sec. I need applause like BK has. BK has applause, and I like her applause. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. Howdy, y'all. It is a Thursday CraftHole, and on that note, let me say that moving forward, at least for the foreseeable future, there will only be Thursday CraftHoles. I can't do the Tuesdays right now. Here's what I got on my plate. I have to design, purchase, and then construct a 20-foot, 20 by 10 booth for off, but not just for off. Something that's modular that we can take to smaller shows and then also reuse at off every year. So it has to be a modular, movable, fixed structure. And I've got to build that. Then I've got to move this studio out of here into the workshop sooner than later, because I've got a lot of projects that I need to do and that BK wants to do that have to take place in that workshop, so we might as well move the broadcast studio out there. So I got a ton and a bunch of little stuff, you know, new homeowner stuff. So there's a ton of stuff to do, and I'll be cracking at it. So Thursdays looks like that's what we'll be down to for the foreseeable future, with occasional specials, right? Let's see who's here. Bubble Toes, Marie Howlett, Megan Myers, Elizabeth McInnes. It's good to see all of you. Left is building circuits count as crafting. Yeah, sure, we built circuits here. What's your project? Pixie Punk, working on socks and a top for jury duty. Is it a top you're designing that you want to make to wear to jury duty or to get out of jury duty? Reminds me, everybody see, there's a documentary a few years ago called Trekkers. And it was about Star Trek obsessed folk, and there was a woman in Arkansas who got chosen for jury duty and showed up in her Starfleet uniform because to her it best exemplified the commitment to fairness and honesty in the galaxy, and so she wore it to her first day of jury duty and was elected foreman. I don't know what the trial was, but there's a top to wear for jury duty. Working on a rib-stitched Tunisian crochet scarf. Way too hot. Way too hot to do much else. Working on socks. Wanted to do them during the nighttime with a movie. You know, that's a good idea. Put a little movie on in the background and go. They won't let us crochet or knit during jury duty anymore. The word in that sentence that confuses me is anymore. Why would they ever let you do that? Why would they, like, you can't sit in a jury box and go, Chapter 5. You can't do that, so why? No. I travel with BK all the time, and she's constantly in the passenger seat doing her thing. This is me doing the thing. And then I point things out to her that are, she's like, I'm there, I'm on the drive with you, I see things. She doesn't see shit. She doesn't know anything but what's in her hand. Building an 8-bit computer from scratch. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah, you know, the people, if you were with us on Twitch, you'll know this, that if you went to Makers and Crafting and Twitch, to look for us, our biggest, we'd have like 125 people in Twitch, 75 to like 125 people at a peak at Twitch. And then right above us with 700 people was somebody building a keyboard, putting buttons on a keyboard. And then right above them at 1500 was someone else putting together a keyboard. It was like the keyboard people. That's an obsessive culture that I know nothing about. Bring crafts to the waiting room. Oh, yeah. So while you're sitting there waiting, sure. Okay, so I was a little late getting in today. We had to start at 11:10 to get a couple of things done this morning. And then I got to bug out early because I'm getting the eyes checked, new glasses and all that. That happens as you get old. But here's what we're going to do in the interim. With this, the little fairy door, I've still got to get it primed, clean that up, get it primed. Here, let me switch to our workspace. Yeah, I still got to get that primed up. That's just a little white paint. It won't show up anything. Once it's primed, you'll never see it again. But what this needs is it's going to sit up on a tree. Let me go back. I'm going to make you sick going back and forth. It's going to sit up on a tree like this. And it has to sit higher up in a tree. Even if that higher up is only a couple of inches from the base, it's still got to sit higher up. So what I'm thinking is I will just make that even a little higher on the trunk of the tree. And then I'm going to build a small stone porch. Little stoop in front of this thing. And then I can, once I cast that in resin, I can cement these together, pin them to the tree, and then I'm going to build a stack of different types of rock to make a little stairwell up to the stoop. So I'm just going to make a little stoop today. Because I can. And because I will. And I get to try out my new little mini heat gun to see if that's going to do the trick in melting my clay. We'll see. Who else is here? Laura Bronner snuck in. Laura Bronner, as soon as we move out to the new workshop, our first project will be heat pressing some letters and then that thing you got me. The bedazzler. We're going to bedazzle something. But that is a project we're saving for the new workshop once we get out there. It's good to see you, though. I'm glad you're not dead. Last time we saw you, you flashed a photograph of you in the hospital with influenza, which I think is what Freddie Mercury died of initially. Influenza. And a little mask over his face. So I'm glad you're not still there. I'm gonna do stoops. Alright, let's get rid of, we don't need this. Do need this. And then my tools. Need my tools. Oh, and something else today. I remembered wax paper. So we'll have wax paper. That'll make this a little easier. So you can see the bottom of this curve. So there's a flat spot here, and this is where it'll been and where it mounted. What I'm going to do is heat this clay up and then kind of press this in so that I can find the rise and the height that I need. So let's just warm this thing up. Yes, the Craft Daddy shorts. That's right. This thing works really well. Yeah, that works great. Okay, so let me get on this end and soften this up considerably. Much easier than going back and forth to the microwave. And then we'll press. Oh, over there yet. We might not be soft enough yet. So I'm going to take that out, heat it up a little more. Don't worry, I'm back in the hospital. I coughed so hard I passed out again. I had a friend recently who went to the hospital. They were found in their bathroom, passed out, and they were passed out with a bruise on their head, laying next to the toilet, and they had pooed themselves. And so the first question that was asked of them is, did you pass out because you shit yourself, or did you shit yourself after you passed out? Okay, we're almost there. We're almost matched up. See on the edges still a little high there. I think what I'm going to do is leave it as is. Now when I pop this out, it's going to leave this reservoir gap, and I'm going to leave that in the final construct so that I can mold to this. As a matter of fact, let me set it back in there, and then I'm going to measure where I'm going to do my width cuts. There. This to be a semicircle. To come out just large enough to, you know, put some potted plants on that. I don't like that line. Put some potted plants on it. Let's fix this line. That's terrible. Look how easy that is. Wax-based clay. You're my hero. It's a little better. I mean, it ain't perfect, but who is, right? Okay, I can cut from there, and we'll shape that out. Some pot plants for the, maybe. Maybe. The Feywild is, you know, all sorts of folk in the Feywild. Some of them smoke a lot of weed. Some of them don't. Sorry about Tuesday, guys. We lost Tuesday because they, Xfinity finally figured out that all that trouble we were having for all those months was actually them. Was really, honestly, truly them. So they've been going back on their line and trying to fix up as much stuff as they can. Now I only hear my own Alan Rickman's voice. Try that. It's a film that I've been trying to get BK to watch. Any of you who understand the entity that is Boss Kitty will know that she doesn't watch a lot of movies unless they're musicals, right? So there is a film that I've been trying to get her to watch. her friends, her gaming friends, have been introducing her to a lot of campy 80s horror movies and goofball movies, and she's loving them. There's a film called The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Fifth Dimension. With Peter Weller, who played RoboCop. John Lithgow's in this movie. A lot of people. Clancy Brown. Has anyone seen this movie, Buckaroo Banzai? I see Alan Ruck and not Alan Rickman. I saw Alan Ruck and my brain went Alan Rickman. You're my hero. There we go. That is the shape and size that I want for my porch. I'm going to stick this on there. I'll flip it up so you can see it. That'll be it. But, you know, obviously it's got to look better than that. So we'll start carving some stonework in. First thing we'll do is heat up this edge. Get rid of that seam and line on the edge. Mr. Bubbles made you watch that early in your relationship. It's a relationship tester. It certainly is. You're either in on that movie or you're not in on that movie. This little mini heat gun is genius. Genius. Well, let me tell you, it's young Clancy Brown, young handsome Clancy Brown, and a younger handsome Jeff Goldblum. This might be the first movie that I ever saw Jeff Goldblum kind of play a nerdy dude in, you know? Young, lovely Ellen Barkin is the love interest. I can't even begin to tell you the premise of this film. But so far, only one of you has seen this movie, right? Oh, no, Vicky C. There's 2. Pixie Punk, there's 3. All right. I don't even know where you would begin to explain this movie. It's about a group of scientists led by a very charismatic, probably multi-doctoral scientist, who also happen to be musicians, so they are in a hit touring band. At the same time, they act as Earth's defense, kind of as a group of charismatic, not superheroes without superpowers, except science and their own cleverness. And they're out to stop an invasion from across the fifth dimension, the leader of which has now possessed the mad scientist that is played by John Lithgow. It's zany. This movie is zany. Kevin Smith wanted to make a television, pitched for years to make either a sequel or a television series of Buckaroo Banzai, and no studio would bite. JK, Buckaroo Banzai. Young Jeff. Okay, so this is after Earth Girls, but I don't think by much. I don't think by much. Jeff Goldblum's first major film appearance, or appearance in a major film, he was in the original Death Wish with Charles Bronson. He had a bit part as a young robber. I think he wore like a Jughead kind of cap. And he had the filthiest line of the whole movie, was young Jeff Goldblum. Hardly recognizable. Melanie Crochets, you have seen it. Well, it's terrific. It's terrific. Everyone should. Okay, I'm going to start just penciling in some rough stonework. Well, JK, I don't know if I should be more ashamed that you haven't seen it on your own, or that a squirrel has not pestered you to see it, because I think every good husband at one time or another has pestered their partner to see Buckaroo Bonsai. I just dare you to go find one clip. If you haven't seen this movie, go find one clip. Oops, I'm down now. On YouTube or something. And watch it. And then tell me that you're not fascinated. JK, if you don't remember Buckaroo Banzai, then I don't think you've ever seen it. That's just how I feel. I'm gonna rough in some little stones. Can't even see what I'm doing. Rough in some little stones that I can go back in then with a tool and create grooves and grout and all that. Wish I had something a little finer tipped than what I've got. This one for now. Squirrel's never seen Highlander or anything King Arthur. Okay, well, we know who the cool one is in that marriage. It's the kiddo, by the way. What do you do? Was in 84, Earth Girls was in 88. Are you kidding me? I got that bar. I thought Earth Girls was earlier than that. Jeff Goldblum was in Buckaroo Banzai 4 years before he was in Earth Girls Are Easy. I didn't realize that. Yeah, definitely young, handsome Jeff Goldblum. What do you got for me? Oh, is it Sriracha? Can you bring me a little ice water, please? Went to a butcher on the way. Thank you, darling. Went to a butcher on the way home from California. Brought back some jerky, pepperoni sticks. You see, yes, that's all the bad guy aliens. They've all adopted human personas. And they've all named themselves John something. Monty Python's Holy Grail was the first film that I ever memorized. Like, my friends and I could sit, and I could probably still do 85% of the film. I think anybody that's ever watched it more than 4 times probably could. Yeah, Holy Grail was a film that we watched a lot. You know, nerdy boys and Python. Match made in heaven. Oh, left. I forgot entirely about that line, but now I will think about it all day. I think my favorite line from that film when Robin in character talked about late method of foreplay. Brace yourself. Any updates on Hoop Box's shipping? Okay, so last night BK let you know that the first shipment that we put out was almost 24 packages. So we've got more, at least a dozen more going out tomorrow. We have 2 mail days at Boss Kitty. They are Tuesday and Friday. But if we have a thing like this, what we'll tend to do is not send it, and we'll send the regular orders out on Tuesday. We'll hold big orders like multi-skein orders, like the box sets. We'll hold those each week until Friday, so that they all go out as one giant shipment instead of, you know, drips and drabs. so you can see. Get in there. Clear up. Focus. There you are. Just roughing in some stone shapes, and I'll do that around the side as well. I'll come down the side and do that. Then we'll clean it up, and we'll go into little areas like this, between stones. And we'll dig some of that out, so you know what it is. You know what a stone surface looks like. Your dad got you into Python? That's pretty cool, Dad. I was one of those kids that I was very lucky. I had a friend who was a couple of years older than I was, and we got along very well. But he had a brother that was like 8 years older than I was. And we got along extremely well. So I hung out with his brother a lot, and his brother and I eventually became best pals. And he introduced me to the music that I love, a lot of the films that I love, just a lot of what makes me me came from hanging out with this guy, spending time with this guy, and just kind of learning my way, because the places that I wanted to go and the things that I wanted to experience, he had already experienced to a degree, and was comfortable in those scenarios, in those locations, all of that. So just, you know, kind of hanging out with him, I got an in that a lot of folks my age didn't. And it was great. It was absolutely great. So, you know, I talk a lot about the 70s, and I lived through the 70s, but I was a child. But as I got into the 80s, I was able to go back through this friend of mine, back to the eras when I was a child, and go, oh yeah, that was happening, and listen to that music and really kind of find a generational love for it. So having that influence that turns you onto something weird and fun that helps shape you, god damn, is that ever important? Super important. My friend is now in his 60s and is an editor and writer for Cigar Aficionado, I believe, one of the major cigar magazines. He didn't smoke any cigars when I knew him. He smoked a lot of weed, but didn't smoke a lot of cigars. People pick up new things all the time. Benny Hill. I remember Benny Hill when I was a kid. We got Benny Hill. This is what we got because of public broadcasting. We got Benny Hill. We got a BBC comedy show called The Two Ronnies, which I later found out these guys were long time popular comedians in Britain. We got a sitcom called Good Neighbors. These are all British shows. We got the original Masterpiece Theater. We got Doctor Who. That was my introduction to Doctor Who. My first ever Doctor was the third Doctor because of public television. Yeah, we got a lot of great stuff because of that. And so if you watched Benny Hill, I guarantee you watched it through the good graces of public television. The 80s had great music and funky outfits. They sure did. These had some astounding music. Some of it you had to dig for. Others was just right there on the radio. Sweeney Todd. Something that I was familiar with. I was familiar with the stage play. I think I'd seen it done. But I hadn't heard of I'm not a big theater guy, so I hadn't heard of a lot. I think I'd seen it done when I was a young kid, a high school production of Sweeney Todd or something. And then I watched a Kevin Smith movie called Jersey Girl, and I think that might have gotten past a lot of folks, but actually a very fun film. And the little girl in the movie, all she talked about was her grade school's talent show and how she wanted to do a scene from Sweeney Todd, and so her family helped her pull it off. That wasn't the main story. That was like a C story. But watching a grade school production of Sweeney Todd was probably the highlight of the film for me. What kind of glasses do y'all think I should get? I gotta get new glasses when I get this eye exam. Fleece, so they're spinning up a lot of fuzzy fiber today. But otherwise, keep doing the way I'm doing. I like how I'm doing it. Change up my method for carving in these stones, but I'm not going to. Got your garage door replaced. Did you smash into it? Did you get a brand new one? What happened? What's the story with the garage door? Inquiring mind. Glasses I have on suit me. You don't want like round ones? I like that. I like it. Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate that. Brush. Kind of brushed off some of this stuff. I'll just use some silicone for the time being. Oh, it's just old. Stop going up and down. I get you. Because we're converting our garage into the workshop and broadcast studio, one of the things that I have considered is swapping out the garage door for a set of carriage doors. You know, big doors that you like French doors, but you know, wider, meant for you can still move things in and out. It's a big, spacious opening. Yeah, now that we're on the precipice of moving the studio out there, I am desperate to get it done. So I really feel like it's held back Boss Kitty not to be able to do dye shows and things like that. You know, it's right there. It's just a little bit more money to get it in there. And right now we have a piece of equipment that's going to cost us a ton. And a couple other things need to get done. We've got to pay for this booth that I've got yet to build. So there are things standing in the way of getting out there, but I'm trying to put together something that will at least keep us moving forward on it. I don't want it to stall. I don't want it to fall into a back burner thing, but at the same time, it is not the financial priority. Let's get together, huh? Just roughing in little rock shapes. Everybody having a time? Be having the greatest time of your life, but doing all right now, right? I mean, everybody struggles financially and with time and things like that, but in the grand scheme, oh, I got the sniffles doesn't really count, or you know, yeah. Soul, how's everybody doing? Everybody able to sleep at night? Because I want y'all to know it's okay. It's gonna be okay. Whatever it is, it's just gonna be okay. I've just encountered a lot of people this week, especially, and I don't know why, but this week, I've encountered a number of people who forget that. Forget that it's going to be okay. One way or the other. Computers were a mistake mindset, but it's doing well. Well, you know, and that's just a thing. That is just a that's just a frustration. So I'm glad to know that otherwise you're doing well. Everybody has periods where they get frustrated or tired, whatever, and they disappear for a little while, and then here they are back, and you seem refreshed and renewed. Miriam, hi, I'm glad you're relaxed. I am glad you're relaxed. It makes it easier for me to hypnotize you into sleep so that my hooligans that works. I have hirelings like the Joker. They just go out and they rob the people I put to sleep with my dulcet tones. Just stormed in to let me know that she'd ordered garlic. I think is today's grubbage. Yeah. She's yelling with them. Thank you. I do not want any basil. Oh, no. I had basil last time and I liked it. Yeah, I'll go with some basil, please. I do want mushrooms. Can we double those up instead of meat? Okay. Yeah, that sounds terrific. Thank you. I don't need any drizzle sauce on my pizza. I'm okay. Thank you, BK. I look forward to my lunch. How's that looking? Everybody approve? Looking stony, pebbly enough? My mic is cutting in and out. You know what it is I get quiet. And when I get quiet, the compressor wants to not pick up my voice. See if I can fix that real quick. There's my answer. Bump this up a little bit. And I'll turn this up a hair. And how's that? Is that better? Do I sound a little cleaner, a little clearer, a little more? Having chocolate cappuccino coffee with monk fruit. Oh man, that sounds good. It is a good day for coffee all the way around. It is noon, guys. It's 10 minutes to noon. So at about 12:15, I need to cut out because I have to get cleaned up and head to an important appointment that is at 1 o'clock up the road. So we got a little bit of time, but I'm just letting you know ahead of time. They moved the Pride weekend events in Portland to this weekend for some reason, some of them, even though they were scheduled for June. And right now, there is a very, very famous drag club in Portland, Oregon called Darcel's. Darcel herself just died. The performer that portrayed Darcel, he just died a year ago. Maybe not even a year ago, a few months ago actually. But right now they have been working on a world record for the longest drag performance. And last I heard they were on 2 days, and I think they were still going. Had an old drill sergeant that had the most monotone voice that would put people to sleep. Not great when he's teaching how to avoid landmines. Yeah, I would think that was probably not what the Army had. He got to DI somehow, so he must have been able to capture some attention. Some snow on the front all the way around. That's how we do. How are the fur babies doing today? Well, let me tell you how they're doing today. They're rotten. Just rotten. Con granted him too much power over the years, and now as an old man, he just takes it. He will come and shove you over, and he's a stout, like fire plug of a fella. He'll jump into your chest or your hip, and he will move you until he's in the place that you were formerly in, because it's warm and that's where he wants to be. Or he'll get up in the morning and lay on my chest to make sure that I know it's time to get up and feed him. We have a window above our bed. I leave it open at night in the summer. It's nice. Gracie has taken to jumping up there in the morning and then jumping down when it's breakfast time and landing on my chest or my face. So like, imagine you had a friend that had a 12-pound barbell and stood 3 feet over your head and just dropped it on you. That's Gracie. So you're asking me how the kids are, and I will stick with my initial answer, which is rotten. However, the baby is perfect. I love the baby so much. I have a little bias to that baby. Hi, Samantha Stewart. How are you? Someone has sent us a hand-knit item to Boss Kitty as a gift, and it is, I believe, sitting in our postal box, and I have to go out and pick it up. And I might not be able to get it today. I might get it tomorrow, but I'm very excited to find out what this hand-knit item is. One thing that I never thought of doing these programs, because, you know, it happened, but very rarely in traditional media when I was working in radio and television, that you'd get, you know, a listener, viewer, somebody would send you a gift or drop one off at the station. It was really neat. Doing these shows, we never thought about it because to us, it's more of a community than it is, you know, anything else. But occasionally we get these things that are so neat. JK came to off this last year and brought BK an apron that had kitties all over it, and then the Boss Kitty logo embroidered on it. And one or two other things that are slipping my mind at the moment. Super fun. It just, your whole day is made. Your whole day is just smiles after that. Somebody just sends you a random gift like that. Something they made especially. It's just the coolest. Is Mittens coming to CraftHole? Well, Mittens actually, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but BK is working on Mittens' new contract with Mittens' agent, Murray Pawfelter, if I remember correctly. And Mittens has tentatively said okay to being on CraftHole. However, he wants to wait until we move out to the new studio so he has more room and he can use this room as a dressing room. I think that's what the holdup is just he wants more space, and since we weren't going to fork over a trailer, I think he's just holding out for this room once we move the studio. Okay. I've crafted lovely space there. I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to start to dig out some of this stuff and keep my eye on the clock, because we got about 10 minutes left today. A shortened day because of an eye appointment. Let's see, what am I going to use to start scooping? Let's go with this guy. Use this edge. Going into diva mode? Oh my. Mittens has never been anything but. Started out as a scoundrel, and now has definitely moved into the diva role. Let me try something here. I'm going to try something. I'm going to heat this surface a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's see if we can't use a silicone tool to kind of drag some of these shapes up. Smoothing out the areas in between them. No, I'm still gonna have to take away some clay. Yeah, I'll still have to remove clay, so. Taking off like a tiny little surface area, like a 32nd of an inch. Just cleaning up the space in between the stones. Giving it a rougher look too, so that when you go to paint it, it looks like, you know, mortar laid in, uneven. Things I'm excited about for moving out to that studio in terms of what we're doing here with CraftHole is that we made a decision about our backyard garden, and we've split our yard into 3 sections. One of them is an actual vegetable garden, and there will be a gated garden. Build a gated garden next spring. And 1/3 will be an area left for like the garden shed and an area where we can move a table saw and things out to and work, you know, a functioning space in the backyard. But the middle section, we've decided, is just going to be a wandering pathway garden, very much like it is now, but up. Goosed up quite a bit, and one of those quite a bits is I'm going to do a lot of art for the garden. A lot of crafty reclamation projects and art. We're talking about garden entranceway with hanging doors, the whole bit. A lot of fun stuff. Stuff I can't do when I'm in this space, but we can do when we're out in the workshop. So that is coming out. Again, I will tell you, best tool in the kit. It's this $3 cheese board Lazy Susan that we got at a Goodwill. If you're working on stuff like this, this is the only way to do it. So I would say tool number 1 is get yourself one of these. You can improvise. BK was in crafting with clay at her desk this morning. And she was just using objects in her purse and on her desk, a paperclip, all sorts of things, to create detail on this little jeweled piece that she was putting together. It's very nice. Fancy silicone tools like this. They're fun. They're not necessary to make art. Depth being laid in stones. 304. Yes, 305. It is noon 05 right now, so let's give it another 5 minutes. I'll just carve out a couple of things and then we'll chat for a little bit. I want to remember that for the foreseeable future, until we are in, at least until we're in the new space, CraftHole is just going to be a Thursday program, but I will try to make it a little longer than we've been doing it, just so that there's more program. We get to spend more time together, because that's important to me, important to my mental health. It's also important to some of you, because when you come around here, sometimes it might be the only reminder that it's going to be okay. Because it's going to be okay. Just going to kind of be the theme of CraftHole, I think, moving forward, is just reminding each other that you can take some time for yourself, make something, put something back in the world positive, and that it's going to be okay. Or it's okay doesn't mean it's not going to be okay. People in my life that have checked out just a bit too late. Just missed out on the next boat ride, you know what I mean? Some intentionally, some because they didn't care about being safe, taking care of themselves, watching out for themselves. They didn't care about any of that, so that checked them out a little early. A conversation about that the other day reminded me. Back it up for the day. 2 years now at your height. Well, goodness. Congrats on the lemon tree. that takes a little bit of work. Keep it running, keep it going. I don't know how long before it starts producing. I hope you hold out and have fun with that. I am learning how to trim and top fruit trees so that I can do the cherry and fig tree this winter. Because I've decided that's not something I'm going to pay somebody for. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn it because I want to learn it. Going to a German restaurant tonight for work, bringing back Hungarian goulash. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, so you can't really tell, but you can see somewhere that's grayed out. That is where we're scooping out some of the clay in between. And then we'll warm these up and you can smooth out the edges of these stones and it'll really look nice once that's together. So we'll work on that tonight and I'll work on it through the week and we'll probably come back with it and cast it, build a mold for it and cast it so that we can put these things back together. That's a good fit. Does it still fit? Now that it's cool, does it still fit? It fits enough. I can warm it up and set that pocket again. There, like that. Here, let me go back here. There we go. We'll have our little stoop with little plants and moss that we'll decorate. We'll have a good time with it. Okay, everybody. As everybody breathe with me, just kind of slowly before we go. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just take it in as deep as you can. Hold it for a couple of seconds and blow it out. Just kind of trickle out. One more. There, slowed your heart. And it will help you feel better. Do that like 500 times a day, and you'll feel great. Okay, everybody. Would I be willing to engage some knowledge sharing in return for fruit tree? Yes, possibly. I know that you have a lot of talents and knowledge that I could certainly use. So yeah, let's get together and do the neighborly thing, shall we? Okay, everybody, I appreciate you showing up here today. I had a good time with y'all, and we'll go get some new glasses. Look at that. That's hat hair. That's good-looking hat hair, though. I love it. I'm going to get some new glasses, and those should be ready in about a month or so. So I'll slap them on my face so you can see them then. Until then, I will see you next Thursday. Okay, everybody, keep your head above water. If you have a problem, reach out in our Discord, !Discord. I will probably do a little Window on the World Omnivore show with you on Discord later this week. In the meantime, remember, everything's going to be okay. I promise you, everything's going to be okay. The best weekend possible. And take care. Bye-bye, everybody. Where's my thing? Oh.